Good morning, everyone. Here we are on Thankful Thursday. Remind yourself what you're thankful for. Say thank you before you go to bed and when you wake up. Do that for 30 straight days, and I promise you one thing, your life will change. Go ahead, email me if you can do that 30 straight days. I promise you, I will send you, if you can say thank you for 30 straight days, I'll send you my book. I'll sign it to you, congratulate you for changing your life. I'll pay for the book and shipping. Just go ahead, email me, david@dmeltzer.com. It's Thankful Thursday. Hopefully I'll get my team on here to put up david@dmeltzer.com so you can remember that, because I know one thing, life's about lessons, and lessons keep on coming. And there it is. And we will forget every lesson, including my email address, david@dmeltzer.com. It's Thankful Thursday. We got a great day in store for us. That is for sure. A little bit of travel again. How often do your private coaching groups meet? Once a week? We have a career group, a sales group, a mindset group. If you want to join our groups that meet once a week, great networking. You get one-on-one coaching from me. It's just month to month. Just join us. david@dmeltzer.com. Thank you for asking. Great members of the group. And here we go. What did you do on day 31 of saying thank you? Well, that was the coolest thing. I kept saying thank you. I still say thank you. That's why I do Thankful Thursdays, because I do not want to take for granted not just what other people are wishing for, but what I'm wishing for. Stop doing it. And when you're in gratitude, when you're saying thank you, you cannot take for granted what other people or you are wishing for. And wishes are what makes the world go round. That's why I stay healthy, because when you're healthy, you get as many wishes as you want. When you're not, you only have one wish. Who were you most excited to talk to during the filming of Office Hours? To be honest, there was so many. Everyone, went from Apollo Ono to Sadhguru to Tillman Fertitta to Cameron Diaz to Rob Dyrdek to Ja Rule to, the list goes, I can't remember, Jim Quick. Just the list goes on and on. We have Sadhguru and Danica Patrick today. Tomorrow, launching on Bloomberg. Check it out, Office Hours, the first late night entrepreneurial show. You can check it out on Bloomberg TV Friday night. We're right there. Please join me. If you need anything, david@dmeltzer.com. It's Thankful Thursday. I have so much to be thankful for, including you guys all joining me. So thank you. When it comes to learning lessons, what are your thoughts on lessons that you have learned on your own rather than someone paying your dummy tax for you? Well, I think in remembrance, recollection, and reminding, when we learn a lesson on our own, it sticks longer. But the universe has changed. We now can access lessons. We don't have to experience them ourselves. So accessing those lessons in a variety of different ways allows us to learn more lessons. The more lessons we learn, the more we expand, grow, and accelerate. The more lessons we learn, the better place, the better situation, or the situation we're in gets better. So learn as many lessons as you can. Access those lessons, even ones that you haven't learned. Some you'll learn by yourself. And pain will indicate that you have a lesson to learn, a setback, a failure, a mistake. It'll indicate that you have a lesson to learn, but you don't have to have the pain, mistake, failure, or setback to learn that lesson. You can access those lessons from mentors, people who have sat or do sit in the situation that you want to be in. Ask them for directions, let them pay the dummy tax, and you can access those lessons pretty good. We will be joined in a couple minutes with our friends. Jesus, good to see you in here as well. How do you reconcile independence and interdependence? Well, I try to reconcile everything in the oneness of it all. And so independence is a freedom to work within the collaboration in the context of interdependence. See, if you realize that all things are interdependent upon one another, then you can put together those laws of gravity, the law of Goya, and the law of allowance. You can understand that because everything is interdependent, that my independence is just a reaffirmation of interdependence, that when and to my own self be true is actually reconnecting, reconciling with the interdependence of me playing my part, loving myself, being grateful, being forgiving, being accountable, and living in spirit. That independence of our own frequency is a reaffirmation of interdependence. So they're completely reconciled together, knowing that the universe is one. Therefore, everything is collaborating and interdependent upon each other. Your independence is reaffirming and reigniting that interdependence. All right, we have my friend there. I see. We'll add in my friends here. Oh, they need to update, Jake. They need to update their IG. My friend Drew Ginsburg, Robin Choi, Dylan at Lex. We need to update your IG. Not letting me join you. So you need the updated version of IG. Hopefully my team's telling these people this. Anyway, please, go ahead, log back in, update your Instagram live. We'll bring on Drew Ginsburg and Robin Choi, founder and the chief creative co-owners of Dylan Lex, DylanLex.com. We're going to talk about their cool fashion and jewelry brand, and how to make a statement. Don't conform. Talking about independence of interdependence. These are two people that understand that very, very well. Drew and Robin, looking forward to having you on. So please make a request to come on. We'll try here. Your request. Hopefully it'll work. I love IG. My car worked like IG. I'd be in trouble though. There we go. Good morning.
Hi.
Did you guys practice that? That was super cool.
Sorry, we were trying on Robin's phone because I was like, you have to update, and we updated her phone.
Yeah. But
sorry, we were already told this.
Yeah.
Robin, get rid of the iPhone 4. At least get the 5.
I know.
So
well, maybe the next millions you make.
Well, can I just tell you, I know you guys are in fashion and jewelry. Talk about first impressions. I know you had the coordinated hello, which warmed my heart.
God, no.
But your look, I mean, oh my gosh, you guys just glow, fashion class, and your jewelry and your style are just flowing and glowing through my Instagram. So you probably had too much beauty for the Instagram. It probably just shut down. That's what.
Well, that's too kind of you. I mean, I think you're wearing a blue shirt. It looks really nice.
Yeah, it looks great.
I got my famous Psycho Bunny, which I created the ferocious Buddha in the same context.
Oh, I love that.
Of the conforming, the interdependence of independence, which is really what you guys do as far as, I call it finding your frequency. You call it making a statement. And your independence is part of the interdependence of us all to, I think, liberate people to shine, to liberate people to show their light. And I have 3 daughters and a beautiful wife that every time they express their own independence, there's an interdependence that is created, that everyone is themselves. I say there's a Shakespearean revival, right? To thine own self be true. And fashion, beauty, and jewelry is one way to be true to yourself. Yeah. You know, what inspires both of you to work together in this kind of making a statement, not conforming world?
You take it first.
That's a loaded question.
Yeah,
thank you.
But Robin and I actually worked together before she came on to help me with Dylan Lex and become my partner here. We worked at a really corporate company that was just all about bottom line and really cranking out product. Yeah. And it kind of just like drained us. I think, you know, we never talked about it in the moment, but I think individually, like I ended up leaving, then she ended up leaving. And we found each other through, she actually walked by a store that I was having some of my jewelry showcased in New York, and she bought a piece and then realized, oh wait, I know this person who makes this. And she reached out and was like, wow, like good for you. This stuff is beautiful. Like I'm moving back to LA, and we reconnected and bonded like over these jewels.
Exactly.
And she was like, I want to do something that's more fulfilling. And I was like, I am doing something that's more fulfilling for me. Like, let's partner up. And now I forget what the point of this conversation was.
That coordinated of making a statement, though. So your jewelry made a statement, and it seems as if Robin wanted to join in.
Yeah, exactly. And
to help people.
Yeah, I think Drew and I, even when we worked together, you know, at our previous company, it was a lot about churning and burning, just fulfilling like holes and needs and categories, as opposed to truly doing, you know, what you love. And as design and merchants, like, that's what it is. It's about doing what you love, and then what you tend to love, somebody else or a bunch of somebody else's will also love and feel, because people aren't just pegs to be put, you know, like circles and circles and triangles and triangles. Like, it's important to be yourself. And as you said, I saw, you know, her collection in New York, and I was like, oh, that's incredible. It's like so rare and different. Of course, come to find it's true. And I texted her and was like, hey, amazing. So
You know, what's interesting about social media with what you're talking about, for me at least, is that there's three types of schools. There is the one that stays off of it, and then there's the ones that feel a pressure to conform.
Yeah.
Right. That, like, I got to please everyone. I have to believe in the highest self. That these fake, you know, people, I call it people standing in front of cars they don't own and houses they don't own, telling you how perfect their life is.
Yeah.
But the real benefit of social media are women like you, hopefully people like me. I call it the Dr. Pimple Popper marketing ploy, meaning that I'm not a big fan of popping pimples. Popping pimples. It kind of grosses me out. And I think the majority of people on earth are grossed out by it. But because of social media, we now have access to billions of people. And it's so important to be true to yourself, to make a statement. Even if what you are about discuss 90% of the people on earth like popping pimples. And I think my statistics are close. But now that you can reach so many people, that the 10% of freaks out there that love, like the president of my company, she loves it. Those freaks can be satisfied and they can make a statement, and you can have a community of people that resonate with your frequency. And when I think about how you grew up in this world of conforming marketing and media and products, to now express yourself and to have an audience that, you know, luckily your jewelry is much more beautiful than pimples being popped.
I hope so.
And I guarantee more than 10% of the women out there love it, and men as well love watching beautiful women wear beautiful jewelry. You know, for you, it's the importance of understanding that positive aspect of social media. And it seems as both of you have really grasped onto the advantages of that.
Here.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know, but you can talk about that.
Yeah, I mean, we're, you know, we didn't have social media in high school. We're, you know, an age above that. Not to like date us. But
I didn't have it when I was married.
Yeah. So, you know, social media to me, is a blessing and a curse. And I think it's really dangerous for certain young people. But I think the beautiful thing about this is that I started my business on Instagram and just posted things I love and was very true to myself, my personality. You know, like we grew up with like brands kind of marketing, seeing it in magazines. It was very editorial, really polished. And I think for us at Dylan Lex, it's like, we want you to see that we're real people behind this. We want you to feel like it's not just a beautiful model, like it's a girl that you can relate to, or a guy you can, or a person you can relate to. So we want you to feel that like realness. And I think for social media, it's allowed us to kind of give that, because we can post a video, we can, you know, do any kind of thing. We can dance around, like, you know, it's allowed us to really connect with people in that way, and just not be so serious and not take everything so intensely.
Exactly. We're not some sort of photoshopped brand.
Yeah.
We
We're
ourselves
just like,
wear, you know, like you, we interview people that we think are really interesting. We focus on those people on our website. We share like just real things, real people, and real people can wear beautiful things that are handmade and artful and can last. So that's kind of where we started. So.
And to finish up, you know, because you are uniquely unique and you have such confidence in being yourself and loving yourself and expressing yourself, I feel, and I've watched some of your stuff, that you guys have a unique ability also of elevating others to do the same. That expression is so important, and especially young women today, that I think the negative aspects of that enormity and scale, size, and scope of the social media of what we see and what our expectations of who we should be. It's more important to see young women entrepreneurs like yourself that are making that statement, not to conform, but to create their own noise, their own frequency. How much has that meant to you as you both joined together to inspire these other young women to do the same thing in business beyond just wearing your fashion and your jewelry?
Oh my God.
So much.
It just that's the most rewarding thing. You know, sometimes I read through the comments and they're like, well, I can't afford this yet, but I'm so hopeful. And I'm like, it's not about that. Like, just you feeling like, oh my gosh, I want to get up and like go now. Like after watching something or seeing something that we've done, like that's what makes us do what we do. Half the projects we work on are not huge dollar drivers. They're just things we're passionate about, and we want to inspire others to kind of think outside the box and like wear things in a different way and just like get up and like shine.
Yeah.
Because we only have this one life.
Exactly.
And
in our own voices. And the thing is like the more, you know, we're almost what, 8 years, 9 years?
yeah,
We're almost 10 years in our business.
round
And
up.
I know, round up. I was like, but you know, Drew and I have been just opening stores and doing things and meeting a lot of our clientele and, you know, our fan base. And we're just realizing how incredible, you know, people are, but really
so
women,
cool.
like, you know, who want to be unique, want to be themselves. And a lot of people say like, oh, you know, you guys woke up in your pajamas in a video and then put on this thing, and it made me realize like I can do that too, and why shouldn't I? In every aspect. And so I think for us, you know, it's obviously a love and a joy, but it's also a mission for us to encourage other people and support other women and support other people who are doing good things for their communities, because we can't do, you know, we can't do all those things, but we see other people who do.
Just wait till you get almost 35 years into it and you start realizing that by liberating your own light, you've liberated so many other people. And there you see these companies come up and they give you a shout out saying, oh, you know, when I was 17 years old, I watched Robin and Drew and I wanted to be just like them. And now today you see them all over the place. And it's the greatest joy of my life to be a celebrator, not a celebrity. And you two obviously are feeling the same way. Although you do have celebrity status, you absolutely are celebrating others. And I appreciate you. And we adore you. Where can people find DylanLex.com? Anywhere else?
Thanks for saying it right. We're online, direct to consumer on DylanLex.com. Our IG is DylanLex. And then we have a store in Los Angeles, and we do pop-ups all over the place, and more so as everything starts opening up. So just check our IG.
Thank you for making it statement. Thank you for not informing me. Come back and visit me anytime. Thank you both.
Have a good one.
Have a good morning.
I know where to buy my next gift for my girls. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Amazing women. That's all I got to say. Doesn't surprise me. Not overlooked. Extraordinary entrepreneurs. Of course, Drew and Robin, the founder and chief creative co-owners of Dylan Lex, DylanLex.com, at Dylan Lex. What wonderful, wonderful people. We're so blessed here. It's Thankful Thursday, and I am grateful for Robin and Drew, for Dylan Lex, for the milestones that they're creating for young women, young entrepreneurs to exceed what those expectations are by giving and illustrating the light which they possess in order to liberate others, to liberate themselves. Definitely celebrators and celebrities. Very cool having them on here. All right, we're rocking and rolling. I think Tim Hampton may be in the house. We have America's best house plans. Tim Hampton has a quick question for me. He's director of operations of America's Best House Plans, houseplans.net. Hey, Timmy, how are you?
Pretty good. How you doing, David?
I'm doing amazing. Give me a little bit of background on houseplans.net, and I think you have a question for me.
Yeah, we're a boutique house plan broker specializing in high-quality house plans. We're one of the first steps in building a home when you decide you're going to go build a home versus buy a home. So I guess my question for you is, why is home ownership the cornerstone of the American dream?
Oh my goodness, one of my favorite questions. Well, I do have a legal background. You know, I went to law school. My mom made me take the bar. I actually passed the bar. And one of the things that attracted me to real estate at first is all the laws of our nation are based to protect one class of people, the landowner. The landowner. And so understanding history and human nature, if you don't utilize the laws in your favor, and those are all types of laws, by being a landowner, then you're putting yourself in a diminished capacity. One of the other things that I love about real estate, and to understand why it's so important to include it in your portfolio, is there's very few asset classes that you get instant leverage in. Think about it. How many assets can you borrow, as a first time, 97% of the money against the asset? Or in general, 20% down, 80% leveraged against an asset? How many assets consistently, historically in the United States have increased in value? And furthermore, how many assets are readily and easily borrowed against with no tax repercussions? And one of the great strategies of Rockefeller and the family banks that have been created in the enormous wealth of family offices has been the ability to borrow against real estate assets with no tax consequences. And so as you also income over history, what other asset class has increased in income, and what other asset is in a constant shortage, even when the market drops? Why is that important? Because if your strategy is to borrow against an asset and the asset itself has gone down in value, you still can create income and then purchase more. So you're hedging as well and actually mitigating any risk. So if I haven't described enough reasons, there's probably about 20 others. It's an expertise of mine since I've been 24 years old, studying how to utilize the laws of the land, the creation of our country, the exceptional asset class, the leverage of that asset class in order to effectuate legacy and family inheritance, got into estate planning and probate and all the other great benefits of having that same asset class. So if we haven't talked about flipping, but more importantly, right, the perceived value of finishing construction is another area. All of these reasons are why America's Best House Plans can provide an exponential acceleration of margins of an asset class that's by far the greatest one to own. In fact, I was going to ask, do you guys create plans for finishing basements? Is that something you could help me out with?
No, we're at the beginning, and it's building the house from the ground up. And we have 18,000 stock house plans, and we have a house plan for every person. And I think that the idea here is that we try to find that house plan that is the dream house, right? And so I always ask people, what's your dream home? You can find your dream home on our website, houseplans.net, and you can easily tailor that house plan to make it your dream home. And so that's just it. We don't have basement house plans. We do have garage house plans, and we offer that. But yeah, it's really trying to build that dream. The dream of owning.
Do architects use you as well as a starting point?
We have about 100 architects that we utilize their plans, and we work with them to modify them for any person's needs.
And they just go to houseplans.net to find those?
Absolutely. Yeah.
You're awesome. What are the sizes of the homes from the plans? What's the smallest? A garage?
From a tiny home up to a mega mansion. We've got it all. We've got every house in between. And it's interesting with the pandemic, we've noticed that there's a lot of homes that we would think people would be looking for that 10,000 square foot home, but we've noticed a lot of people are looking for the smaller home just right for their property. And so it's perfect. You should check it out.
I'm going to check it out, man. I love it. Real estate's the way to go. You're the person to contact. Tim Hampton at America's Best House Plans and houseplans.net. Please join me again. I'm going to go check it out right now. Thank you, man.
Thank you. You have a great day, David.
Big fan. Thank you so much. You're awesome. Tim Hampton, America's Best House Plans. Build your own house, save money, and create extraordinary familiar wealth. Jacob Cohn is in the house, one of my favorite mentees. I want to give you a big shout out. I am more proud of you than you would ever know, my friend. So keep on doing your best, learning lessons and having fun. 3 of the things I teach, not only my children, but all the kids that I mentor as well. If you want to reach out for those 3 things, david@dmeltzer.com. If you want my ebook, audio book, if you'd like me to sign a book and send it to you, pay for the book and shipping, it's not a problem. It's David at themeltzer.com. Shout out to Nick Glazer in the last semester of his college, graduating early. And I'm hiring that young man because he is exceptional. He's a good person. And he is aligned with the gratitude, forgiveness, accountability, and inspiration that we live by at my company. Jacob Cohn, applause to you. All right, let me take a quick question as we bring on Chris Duffin, the mad scientist, co-founder of Kabuki Strength. And he is the visionary officer there. Just looking for my friend as well. The mad scientist is here. Chris, welcome. Come join us. I'm going to get my Kabuki friend here. Hey, what's going on, Chris?
How you doing?
I want to know the story of strength, the eagle and the dragon, and utilizing the concept of reinvention as you have in your book. Give me an idea of why that incorporates being a mad scientist.
Well, everything in the eagle and the dragon, the story around it is around building resilience, using the struggle, the challenge that we have in life, and sometimes those unsavory things, and allowing that to be the impetus to become a stronger and better version of ourselves. Resilience, strength, right? And to me, it's, body, mind, and soul. And sometimes it requires thinking outside the box. And that is, what my companies do. That's what I do. And that's why I was dubbed the mad scientist of strength, because I've used those things to create some products that have changed the strength training industry and allowed me to do feats of strength that no one else has been able to perform.
And you talk about the feats of strength. It's an honor to have you on here because whenever I meet the world's best, and I was blessed to run the most notable sports agency in the world, so representing the best boxer in the world, the best baseball player in the world, the best football player in the world, there's a spirit of excellence. But when you're specific to a skill set and a sport, that's one thing. But when you're deemed at something that everyone has without a skill necessarily, you're the strongest man in the world. Which is extraordinary. And, for me, my superpower is something called consistency. And I think people underestimate the power of being able to be consistent. Whatever it is that I have a habit machine. So whatever I can effectuate in that consistency allows me to reach closer to my potential. Now, my strength potential may not be the same as yours, or it may be, and I just haven't focused my attention and intention onto it. How important is consistency in order to be the strongest man or the most resilient man in the world?
Well, my journey in strength training started in 1988 at 12 years old. And I didn't perform my biggest feat of strength until the last 4 to 5 years of my training. And that was from 39 to 43. So that should give you some idea of what consistency is involved, because it is not about, it's, layering those levels of resilience and strength, right? And that's life in itself. You can't just walk out the gate and have the capabilities to take on everything in the world. You may think that you can, but what you've got to do is win a small battle that you're capable of, make some progress, right? And it's with anything. That's with building your confidence, right? Is, hey, you fail, you come back, like, oh, I can overcome it. And it's a small thing. And then you just keep going one to the next. And over time, you end up developing the capacity to be able to handle so much more in your life. And so, I use strength training as a framework to talk about a lot of these things, but that's, I've used it to be successful in a lot of different environments. You mentioned professional sports. Like in 5 years, I built my primary company, Kabuki Strength. We work with 29 of the 30 MLB teams, 90% of the NFL, 90% of the NBA. Globally recognized leader in that arena in that period of time. But that didn't happen overnight. That I developed those capacities and ability to do that over time. So, I think that to dive further is to talk a little bit about kind of my life story, maybe, that help articulate what I'm speaking to.
I was going to reach into that story because how the eagle seems obvious, but I was more curious about the reinvention and the dragon portion of your story, of what you learned from the pain, setbacks, failure, and mistakes in your life to reinvent yourself continually, to expand, grow, and accelerate, to be the world's best at something.
Yeah. So uh, my life scope has been really interesting. So it's a larger, it's a scope that's allowed me the opportunity for a lot of introspection on things. I wouldn't, I don't want to go, woe is me, or I've accomplished so much. And it may sound that way as I'm talking through, but it's a great way to talk about how far you can move the needle and what the value of looking inward can do and understanding your values and how you want to express those in the world. So it starts out, I grew up homeless, homeless in the wilderness. So we're talking an area, there's actually a documentary on the one area that I spent a lot of time in around Murder Mountain. And I grew up in an environment where there was drug abuse, drug running, murderers. I dealt with a serial killer. I dealt with human trafficking. I was taken by the state along with the rest of my siblings for a while. We're talking really, really bad things that happened over the scope of trauma, like nearly every single type of trauma that you could experience when they, have the 8 different kinds. That's what I went through in my childhood. And nearly everybody that was around me, it was a matter of watching people die, watching people get involved with drugs. It was just a pretty bad deal. And I decided that there's only one way out of that myself, and that's, my choices and my actions. And so I decided to excel at things. And I was valedictorian in high school. I was a state champion level athlete, got a full ride academic scholarship. While I was working on that, I ended up taking custody of my 3 younger siblings. And I raised all of them while I was putting myself through school, working on dual engineering degree, my MBA, and working full time. And so I went from this kid in the sticks, we're talking, 6 years old, being taught how to capture and handle live rattlesnakes, just sitting there, looking at that, having it wrap around your arm. And why would your parents be teaching you something like it at 6 years old? Well, we were living in the mountains. We had beams strapped up into the trees because that's where we slept at night, because there were so many rattlesnake dens around Northern California, right? And so we talk about that. In my book, I detail the interactions. I saved my mother from a serial killer in 1985. He came back again in 2000, all sorts of freaking wild, wacky stuff. But this is all the story of the eagle. It's like understanding and finding your strengths, what you're capable of the world, that you can fly to whatever heights that the only thing holding you back at the end of the day is yourself. And I had this tattoo, a 40-hour tattoo that covers nearly my whole body, done at 19 years old, an eagle across my stomach, one across my back, and they were chained. I had a shackle running down that was wrapped around my ankle. And that was at that point in my life, like, I can accomplish whatever I think that I can. The only thing holding myself back is myself. And so I went to live the American dream. I got my engineering degrees, I got my MBA, I was working, I started moving up in the world. I became a corporate executive. Next thing you know, I'm sought after to come in and turn around companies, to fix them. One of my biggest successes, I came into an aerospace company that I ran for 4 years. It was about ready to fail. They were going to lose their contract with their major supplier, which was Boeing. It was going to go under. Over the course of 4 years, I turned them into the number 1 supplier in the world to Boeing for quality and delivery, from failing. Got them financially successful and walked them through a sale process, fixing the back end side of things with the books. And so that's what I ended up doing. And I'm sitting there, I'm living the life. I've got a great job. I'm a competitive athlete. I was ranked number 1 in the world at the time, 8 years straight in powerlifting. Yeah. Owned a gym on the side, had a house with a white picket fence, 2 kids. Like, I've proven to everybody, this kid from the sticks can be successful. And I was unhappy. And that's where the story of the dragon comes in. This is the really sitting down and understanding who you are and what you're meant to do in this world, and evaluating that. And I wasn't living my true self. I was living a version of what I thought I was supposed to be. what success meant like to everyone else or what's portrayed out there. And it wasn't
Yeah,
success to
you know,
me.
I call it, Chris, the world of just enough for me, meaning, you know, I'm buying things I don't need to impress people I don't like and wondering why I'm not happy.
Exactly. So I was sitting there and I'm like, well, this career I love because I found that I love mentoring people. I love helping people achieve more that they think possible. And that's how you do turnarounds. It's not like some genius reorganization strategy. I mean, yes, you're doing things like that, but the big thing is change is one person at a time. You change people, you change culture, you change companies. And so I got that out of it, but I was coaching people. I was doing clinical continuing ed because I wanted to be the best at what I could do on my side, which was, you know, the strength athlete arena. And I knew that I could get people out of pain. I could help people live a better quality of life. I could help them become more resilient, get out of back pain, you know, change people's lives. You know, not solving world hunger or anything like
Yeah.
that, but honestly, it changes people's life for those that affected. I knew how to do it. And I wanted to reach as many people as possible. And I contemplated going back to school to, you know, become a doctor. And I'm like, I can only affect change one person at a time. I need to do more. And with this evolving methodology in my mind of how to approach resilience training, movement mechanics, I realized so many gaps that were out there in the industry, as far as one on the education side, but the other on all the tools that were shoving people through the same box. Basic preschool, you know, learning. Square does not fit in round hole, yet all the tools we try to shove people, we needed stuff that would accommodate for the variability in an individual's levers and mobility restrictions and training needs, and work around the principles, around scientific principles of training, of movement patterns, development of kinesiology, like, and so was the impetus for me to make some vast change in my life. So this is the story of the dragon. It's deciding specifically who you want to be in this world and becoming that person. And so I took everything that I had, everything. I said, I want to have passion about everything that I want to do in my life. And, you know, my kids are, you know, the heart of like having this sense of family, but having a creative outlet. I didn't have that in my work. I said the passion, being competitive. There's a whole lot of different, everybody's going to find different words. I don't need to list all of what mine are, but understanding how do I create a life that lives it? These are things that I can't have. They're not like, oh, I want a fancy house and a fancy car. I'm going to get that. I want this job. I'm going to get that. No, these are things that you can always work towards and be part of your makeup. And so it's like figuring out a life that can help you actualize that, to realize that. And so I walked away from everything that was huge in my life. So I walked away from my career, which was a well-paying, high sought-after thing. That was a little scary. Had to sell my homes. I leveraged my entire pulled out my 401k, went a few $1 million into personal debt. I said I was retiring from competitive lifting. I didn't have the desire to continue in that platform anymore, even though I've been number one in the world for like 8 years straight. And like I said, I wanted passion everywhere in my life. I had a nice, comfortable relationship with my wife, my friend, and I asked for a divorce as well. And
Wow.
so, you know, we put the kids at the center as we walk through that, and I put everything of my life out there, and I started crafting, like, you know, the company that I wanted, the culture that I wanted, and drawing people into it. And as a part of that, I ended up my wife found me, have an amazing relationship, a third child, like found at 40 years old, love for this thing that I thought was a storybook thing that's in books or movies. Like that's not real. Like that came upside and hit me upside the head at 40 years old. I'm like, oh, nobody told me that was real.
Yeah.
And also started drawing all these other amazing people that wanted to be part of this vision of making the world a better place through strength. And so over the course of those few years, built Kabuki Strength into being what it is, which I already mentioned who we work with. Basically anybody and everybody that's interested in developing resilience at a high level, reducing injuries. Go watch Dwayne The Rock on any of his training. Anytime he's doing a squat, a lunge, anything, that's our bar. He won't train with anything else. All the action stars on the Marvel, everything else, they're stuntmen. They're all using our stuff. And like I said, 90+% of every professional sport in North America, 600+ colleges, every big name school that you could think of in a few years. That's pretty fucking cool.
A little bit of credibility there, just
Yeah.
DJing itself.
And I decided that I was going to lift on my terms and do what I wanted. So I created what I called this campaign called the Grand Goals. And grand is like over the top. I want to go for something that people think can't even be done, to inspire people to realize just how far they can reach. I want it to demonstrate the education, the things that I teach, that the ability to control and manage spinal position can have a huge value, and that somebody like myself, I didn't mention, but I had back problems to the point I had to learn to walk again in my life, that I could do something that was the absolute max for ability to demonstrate that, and not as a specialist, because I was going to do that in the two basic fundamental human patterns, the deadlift and the squat, showing that I wasn't mechanically advantageous for one, because nope. And I was going to do 1,000 pounds for reps. And I did the first one in 2016. I did 1,002 pounds for just shy of 3 reps. Didn't log out the third one. That Guinness record right over there is from that one. And then 2 days before COVID, the lockdown, I completed the squat, 1,001 pounds for 3 reps. There will be a movie coming out about it this next year. That process, and that, yeah. So that's been my life. So
yeah, Chris, you're living my motto, which is to enjoy the consistent, everyday, persistent, without quit pursuit of your own potential. I always say people are dreaming of crumbs, and I on a mission to empower over 1 billion people to be happy by utilizing people like you and programs like you to build that strength, to pursue their potential, to change the mindset, change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. And sometimes pain can propel us, as usual, to a better place, a better situation. And I will tell you, as someone who's married to a girl that he fell in love with in the 4th grade, who hated me almost my entire childhood, and to, at 40 realize that my dreams have come true as well, in love even, and my relationship. I know exactly the way you lit up when you were talking about your wife is the way I feel about mine. The difference
it's an amazing thing to have.
Yeah, I was taking it for granted. And I don't take for granted what other people are wishing for. I don't take for granted what I'm wishing for, and neither do you. People reach out at mad_scientist_Duffin, Chris Duffin, superhero in my book. They should knit you a cape, my friend, for all the good that you're doing. You are powerful inside and out, mind, body, and soul. You have resiliency and strength. I am so appreciative for you. Check out his book. Come visit me again. We got lots more to discuss, okay?
I'd love to talk again. Anybody that wants to get my book for free, just go to my site, ChristopherDuffin.com. Sign up for the email newsletter. You'll get the first half for free. You can get the audiobook there, all that sort of stuff. Anyway, that's all I got to say.
They miss you, my friend.
Like Muffin, but with a D, Duffin, okay? It's pretty easy.
Yeah, that's it. Duffin. You got it, my friend. Take care. Thank you so much.
Have a good one.
The Guinness Book of World Record holder, the strongest man on earth. 8 years in a row, by the way. He's not messing around when he's teaching about internal and external strength. Get his book. Reach out to me, David@dmeltzer.com. You get my ebook, audiobook. I will sign a copy, send it to you, and pay for shipping. Everybody is on their own mission. Be an eagle, be a dragon. Understand your potential. There is no pursuit of happiness. Happiness is the pursuit. I want to thank everyone for joining me today. Drew and Robin and Tim, and of course, Chris Duffin, Duffin, at the mad_scientist_ChrisDuffin.com. He is a true visionary. Wow. All right. Tomorrow is the launch on Bloomberg of Office Hours. So If you have not, Scott Kaplan, one of my good friends, Scotty, how are you, my friend? A big shout out to you. If you're not following Scott Kaplan, please do so. He's an extraordinary entrepreneur and a media talent, and he's a mensch in my book. I haven't seen him in a while, but Scotty, missed you at the Charger game, but my Chargers are awesome. I know you don't like them anymore, but I still do. Probably because my 11-year-old does. Anyway, tomorrow my TV show launches, Office Hours. We have Danica Patrick, Sod Guru on episode number 1, 12 episodes, 75 of the biggest names, billionaires, millionaires, entrepreneurs, celebrities, athletes, and entertainers. Everyone from Tillman Fertitta to Rob Dyrdek to Sod Guru to unbelievable Apollo Ono and Jim Quick. The list goes on and on and on. Danica Patrick and Sod Guru on the first episode tomorrow on Bloomberg TV. Check us out. Most importantly, everyone, as you've learned today, be kind to your future self and do good deeds. It's Thankful Thursday. I'm thankful for all of you. Have a great day.